What's up, everybody? I got some beautiful ladies in the house. Let's go. And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Purple Pod episode 81, the number one show in the world for dating. Start right here in Dallas, Texas. Please make sure to like the video on y'all's way in. Hit that subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell so you can see every time we got a live show that's coming up. Follow us on the podcast Instagram as well. Add these beautiful ladies that came tonight because we want to, give something back if they drove all the way out here. You can catch us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, or YouTube, all right now live at the same time. Check out my mentor program, Emergent Values Mentoring. Just DM me on Instagram info if you're interested in that. If you want to show support, you can do that by hitting the join button under the video to become a YouTube member, which comes with some emojis for the live show. You can also super chat in y'all's questions if you have any for the ladies. We're on all audio platforms as well, such as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure to add the Instagram, though, please, guys, right now, and go add these ladies, please. I really want to give something back to them since some of them drove all the way across DFW to get their asses over here today. I just said a cuss word I was supposed to say for this first 10 minutes. I'm sorry, Dom. Fuck.
Shit.
Oh, man. Anybody that's looking to learn how to utilize AI or networking skills, please DM me the info, though, and we can get you started on Emergent Values Mentoring. Shout out to my producer tonight. We got Donnie in the house. Thank you so much. And then, anybody who wants to come in, or anybody that needs help with their YouTube channels, I'm doing 3 clips a day and 3 shorts a day for only $500 a month right now. I'll manage your channel, do all your SEO and all your posting for you. Please let me know if you're a YouTuber and you're looking for help in that, and I got you. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Tonight, our show is going to be about communication, guys. But let's get started first with your name, your age, your education level, what you do for work, and what's your relationship status, ladies. We'll start with our new girl over here.
My name is Karina. I'm 26 years old. I graduated college with my bachelor's in 2019 in business management. Right now I'm doing marketing. I'm a marketing director. I manage social medias. I help them create content. I'm a photographer, and I am taken. 3 years in September? Yeah.
3 years in September?
Yeah.
Nice. That's a long time.
Oh, yeah.
What about you? Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me again. I'm Jazz. I'm 22. I day trade full time, and I also teach people how to trade. So high ticket sales for mentorship. I did not go to college, and I am single still.
Oh, single still?
Hey, it hasn't even been a month.
No, I'm just trolling you. Thank you for coming back, by the way. Go ahead and let them know your name, age, education. You know all the jazz.
My name is Michelle. I am 27 years old. Education level associates for business. I am a senior executive for a fiber company.
A fiber company. Yes. Nice. It's different from what it was last time, guys, if anybody notices. So congratulations to you with your new job.
Yes, thank you.
No, so tonight, guys, we were going to be talking about communication. I want to learn a little bit more about our new guest, though, really quick, because you're talking about your relationship. Like, do y'all live together? Like,
We do.
Okay. How long have y'all lived together for?
Probably 2 years.
2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And who asked to be with who? Like, who asked to make it official?
Of course, my boyfriend.
He asked.
I would never, yeah.
Oh, you would never be the first one?
No way.
Why not?
I'm like so old fashioned. Like my parents are too, so I would never ask. No way.
To make it official, you think that like even that is like a old fashioned thing? Like even that is like a stereotype? Who's supposed to make it official?
Yeah.
Because I've never seen that as like a stereotype ever.
I think obviously like females, especially me, I definitely set like my boundaries, or I communicate that. I'm like, if you want anything further, I would have to be a girlfriend, like, or anything like that. So I think.
And what was that like? Like, were you not going to kiss him until he made it official? Like, what was the boundary that you're like, you're not getting this until you make it official?
Obviously, like, definitely like living together, or like, other things, but definitely like if you want to continue this relationship, I'm not rushing you, but I would like to be a girlfriend. But I would never be like, hey, would you like to be my boyfriend? Like,
Yeah.
that's a man.
And then did you or how long did it take before he did that?
Maybe a little over a month.
A little over a
A little
month.
over a month, yeah.
And then he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna lock this in.
Yeah.
I like this a lot."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm actually originally from Florida. So he visited me from Florida, and then I visited him. It was all during COVID.
And he lives here in Texas?
He's born and raised here.
Okay.
And then
Dallas boy.
And then I made the big move 2 years ago.
And so how did y'all meet online then? Or did y'all meet online?
A fitness event. It was a fitness event that I came here for, and then we met, and literally during one of my visits during COVID, I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna stay. I told my parents, I'm just like, the opportunities out here is just way better than Florida.
Because what part of Florida was it?
Orlando.
Orlando, yeah. Yeah, there's nothing there.
Nothing.
No, so that's pretty dope. And if you don't mind me asking, like, what color is he?
He's white.
He's white. Yeah. No, I saw your Instagram, and I know sometimes like the chat likes to know those type of things. Like, it's just good to know That's why I ask so many relationship questions. Like sometimes they just want to know like the digging deep about what type of relationship you have, because I'm sure you understand there's a lot of different types of relationships out here today.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to talk about a lot today. Guys, we're going to be talking about communication styles and just, is communication different between men and women today? And we'll start off with that question. Do you think men and women communicate differently in relationships? And we'll start with you actually this time, Michelle.
Wait, sorry.
Do you think men and women communicate differently in relationships?
I don't really know, to be honest. Men, I really have not dated men in a very long time, so I'm not really sure. But with women, I feel
Why
like...
are you gay?
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I feel like men, though, they are very hard-headed and they're stubborn, and they're not very emotional. So
it's harder to communicate.
It's very hard to communicate, and when I have been with a man, it's just the communication is just not there. And they just
barely.
Yeah, they don't be talking.
Is it way better with the women?
It is, because they communicate though.
They at least tell you how they're feeling and stuff.
Express their feelings. But sometimes women too, they can't communicate.
Like they'll stonewall.
Yeah, their guard will be up, or they're just.
And when you say guys weren't good at communication, like when you did like experience any of them, like was it stonewalling? Or was it just like they literally sucked at communicating?
Just sucked at communicating.
Okay, it wasn't stonewalling, where like they're like doing it on purpose, kind of. You don't think so?
No.
And Bango Tango, I like your question, bro. So I'm gonna ask it, Jazz. Do you do the wheel strategy? I think you just do Forex, don't you?
What is the wheel strategy?
The wheel strategy is a selling option strategy. It's like where you sell and then you like it's the perfect strategy to make sure that you kind of don't get screwed over on. Usually, like some of the biggest traders when it comes to options only do the wheel strategy, and it's because it's just the safest thing to kind of do. But you don't use it.
I've never heard of it. No.
Oh no, it's massive. You should, if you just type in like anybody on Reddit or anybody on YouTube that's like a big like options trader, all they do is talk about the wheel strategy. Usually, it's like I said, it's the safe. You know how like usually when you get into something on the internet or just anything like drop shipping, it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. When you get into something, like you might buy a package or you might buy a course or you might learn how to do something like that, and they're gonna sell you a bunch of like fluff because it has to be like a big thing, or else the customer feels like they got screwed over. But in reality, the thing that actually makes the money, the thing that everybody actually does that's successful, is usually maybe 10% of what that program is teaching or something. But they're not going to tell you that. And so like a lot of people though, like who are really advanced in the trading world, they learn it's just the wheel and that's it. And it's really stupid to like selling options is like it's like being the dealer, in blackjack. Whereas like buying options is like being the 49% chance of losing, being the one that is playing blackjack. So I, like me and most people that I know that investors really push for the wheel strategy because it's selling. It's not saying they're trying to buy options. It's just selling all the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's really good to do spreads, but like for the most part, I would say it's only the wheel strategy that is like what the best people do. But yeah, for you, yeah, go ahead. What do you think? Do you think there's a difference between men and women with their trading, or I mean, with their communication styles?
I feel like there is. I feel like men are more straightforward, direct. They know what they want, and in most cases, women kind of, I don't know. I guess just take forever to say like what it is that they want or need or whatever the case.
Y'all don't even know where you want to go eat.
I'd be knowing.
You do? Mm-hmm. Are you the one that usually chooses?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. What do you think? Do you think men and women have the same communication style?
Definitely not. I think men, they don't know how to express their emotions, and they don't know how to communicate what they're feeling most of the time. And I think how they were raised plays a big part in that. If they had a very nurturing, and I'm not saying they were babied, but their parents really cared about their feelings, then they would probably express that. But if they had parents that were like, suck it up, like, man up, don't cry, don't do this, and they will definitely be closed off when they're in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then as for a female, I think obviously it will be the same for most females. They do know how to communicate, maybe not the best way. Maybe it would come off like probably like too much or too forceful, like,
Mm-hmm.
but they still communicate. But then when a man receives that, he doesn't know what, like,
Yeah.
gosh, it's a lot. It might be too much.
Okay. No, so like the first thing that you said though is that like guys don't know how to communicate well, express their.
Communicate their emotions. Yeah.
Do you think that like there's a lot of guys that like they would benefit like most guys should go to therapy today?
I think everyone should go to therapy. If you're not religious, or if you are, I think you should go, or speak to someone that you could trust. Doesn't have to be a therapist. Um,
Jesus
but not
Christ.
but not telling too many people about what's going on with you. I don't think that would be a smart choice, because it's just too much, too many different. Yeah, I don't.
It's just like one of the big things I talk about a lot on the show. The biggest thing that we try to bring up is the differences between men and women, because there's a lot of what we call blank slateism, especially like in school, especially psychology, and in all these different areas of life. We always try to say men and women are the same, whether it's sexually, mentally. Yeah, shit. There's women saying physically are just as good as men today. So like, there's a lot of this blank slateism going on, and one of the parts of society where that blank slateism has kind of like creeped into and ruined is therapy and like communication and stuff, because the problem is that we keep thinking we're the same, but women communicate one way and men communicate another way. So when y'all communicate, y'all do need therapy. Like y'all do need to talk about your issues. Like y'all do need to learn to express yourself that way, because that's how you're hardwired. But a guy sometimes communicates completely differently. Like women are very covert and men are very overt. Like we're gonna be very overt about, like, if we have an issue, it's a logical problem to be solved right then. So sometimes, like, don't get me wrong, I actually have a cluster B disorder, so I went to therapy for a year. I'm one of those guys that did need to go to therapy and stuff, but that's a very small percentage of the male population, and most of them, they really aren't going to get a lot of good stuff from therapy. It actually might make them more sad. It actually might make them more depressed. It's pushing like a feminine energy out of them to go and do that for an hour, and depending on the person that is their therapist, oh man, could even fucking make it even worse. Especially in most, if we look at studies right now, and we look at who's graduating in psychology and stuff like that, it's just women out the ass. There's like 90% of women right now over the last like year or two were women graduates in psychology. And like even the whole system, like how the whole psychology system is built up, the books, like how to do psychology, like how to help people, it is all very feminized. It's all very perfect for women, fucking phenomenal for women, fucking amazing for y'all. But we're completely neglecting men and not understanding that we're completely different. And sometimes, like, since we deal with logical issues, usually that makes us sad or makes us closed off. It's usually based around a money or a problem that needs to be solved, and you can go to your homeboys to figure that problem out. You don't need to pay $100 or $200 to go see a therapist or something like that whenever it's a logical issue that you need to just figure out, that's the biggest issue, though, is that we keep pushing guys into therapy, and it's not a healthy thing. I'm saying this as a guy that did it. It's not good for most men. They need to go to the gym. They need to get a hobby, like for most guys, and they need to get a good group of men around them that are on their shit. And like I would agree that it's fucking very hard for men to find a very good group. That's why there's groups like Andrew Tate's War Room, and there's other like these big groups of men that are charging thousands of dollars for men to join these online golf clubs. But it's because there's such a lack of male leadership and such a lack of male groups. So we need these things. Like men need that.
I think for females too, there's a lot for me, especially me. Like I've never found like a group of females that was going towards the direction I was going in life. A lot of people, they just, I hate to say it, but they get jealous. They get jealous really quickly, and they're just sometimes, most of the time, they're fake. and then you realize that pretty quickly. So for me, I think there isn't a big, a lot of options for females to have a good, strong group. I mean, I've seen people have, nice, groups of friends and stuff, but quick, that doesn't last.
Would you say like a majority of people ain't shit today? Like 80%, 90%, or do you think that like most people are good people?
I think everyone's a great person to that one person in their life,
Yeah, but like as
And-
far as but I'm talking like successful. Like I'm saying,
Oh.
do you think most people are good people in the sense that they're not only good people like emotionally or like
Yeah.
that, but they're also on their shit. Like they're
No.
not stupid. Like would you say most people are just kind of NPCs, kind of like normies, you know?
I think so.
So like I have the same mentality as you, and it's very hard to find people to be in a circle with because most people are normal. Most people are NPCs.
Mhm.
And like if you're a top 10% person, like you're pushing harder than everybody else, you're doing more than everybody else, it is going to be hard for you to find a group
Yeah.
or find people that are like-minded like you.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes the journey with the internet today. It's easier than ever to find people like that. Like I like to say like really honestly like fuck blood and like fuck time with people too. Like I honestly don't care about family. I don't care about time with people that I've known since I was 6 years old
Mhm.
because I care about people that are on the same path as me,
Yeah.
that are in the same alignment as me. And that's hard as fuck to find. Now,
Very.
don't get me wrong. I have a whole family of NPCs. I have a whole friend group of people that I've known for 20 years that are NPC people, but I'm not going to make it anywhere with them around me. You have to find people on the same path. Yeah, but no, but I shout out to you for like noticing that though. I got to ask really quick. Do you like avoid certain women since you're in a relationship? Do you avoid certain women because you know that they're single and probably trying to drag you down, or because birds of a feather flock together? Like there's certainly sometimes women that will act like they're all there for you in your relationship, but they would like you to be single with them. Do you do that, or do you hang out with all your girlfriends all the time no matter what?
I have a very ever since high school, I was very careful with who I hang out with. I literally would just hang out with someone if it's like for a photo shoot. You want to hang out, walk around the mall, we can do that. But like going out and inviting them into my relationship and all that stuff, no, that's like two separate. I keep that over here and over there. Like I never mix the two.
You're a relationship girl.
Yeah, for sure.
And
with
before your
everything,
current
business too.
boyfriend, were you like this already? Like in your last
Since
relationships?
He's my second boyfriend. So yeah, I mean, with everything, I just separate the two. I never mix relationships and friends and all that group thing. No, I don't like it because it gets messy.
No, I completely agree
Yes,
with you,
messy.
honestly. Bango Tango, shout out to you again, bro. Yes, crypto is a fucking scam unless you're mining, bro. I completely agree with you again. But no, what was my next question on the communication? I want to know what differences have y'all noticed in how men express their emotions? What differences have you noticed of how men express their emotions? We'll start with you on this one. Compared to you, like as a woman, what's something that's different?
I think men, since they don't communicate their emotions very well, they tend to be quiet. Um, they'll just focus on, like you said, the gym or maybe gaming or something like that. Something where they can just relax. I guess I'm not.
No, that was
It's hard,
that was a
yeah.
good answer because I was gonna say we kind of just want to sit there in fucking silence,
And
man.
silent.
I kind of just want nobody to bother me and just chill. Like that's literally the best thing ever. Like sometimes we like to say that all a guy wants from his woman is just sex, sandwiches, and silence. And like it sounds fucked up, but it's just sometimes it really is that simple. Like our communication is like in our head, and we'll solve it, and it's like okay, I don't need to communicate that. I'm done.
Well, yeah, and then I think for females, we're very detail oriented, so we want to know why you're mad. Is it because of us? Is it because something at work? Is it because something on your car ride home? Because I think growing up, our parents were so like they did that to us. Like, how was school? Did someone do something? Or like they're very detailed. Like okay, let's fix it there. Let's do this. Who was that? So I think we just communicate like that to our partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you think men are different when it comes to communicating their emotions?
Kind of like she said, in a way, I would consider it as, I don't know, not shutting down, but like y'all said, just being silent and like, just wanting
It's
to
like
figure
we
it out on your
actually,
own.
what's crazy is like we hear all the time, like women complain, whether it's on this show or any show or anything online, about how men don't show their emotion or like men don't communicate. But we're just realizing that's just how men are. And it's not even like we're trying to be dicks or like we're trying to like be unemotional or anything. It's just like, no, this is my natural state of like mind. This is just like my natural state of living. I'm actually at such a peace right now. I don't have to say anything,
It doesn't seem like that though.
But because like we were saying, y'all like to really communicate. Y'all are such social creatures. I can't express to you how much social skills a woman has by the age of 18 compared to an 18-year-old boy.
You're right.
Like we're talking fucking night and day difference.
Mhm.
And like the reason why is y'all love communicating. Y'all do it all the time. And it's something that you get a lot of practice at, and we just don't. But we got to look back in science and look at like evolutionary psychology, like why are y'all such communicators? It was because think about it, like for thousands of years, whether we were on the plains of Oklahoma or something like that, in the Indian tribe or something, you're constantly like the guys are going out hunting and stuff, and the women are sewing together, the women are farming, or they're doing certain things there. So you are communicating a lot. What are you mostly also doing? Raising children back then, okay? So you're constantly communicating with a toddler. You know how much like the mother of my daughter or like my girlfriend can completely understand my 3-year-old daughter when she talks, and I'm just like, what the hell did she just say? Like I can't even fathom the words that come out of this little girl's mouth. And there's like, oh, she wants this. And it's like, what? Like, how did you understand that? Like y'all are so wired to just be so understanding and be so communicative, and men are just not even close to like that. It's crazy.
But I do want to say, like, a man who knows how to communicate, at least
Oh,
just
he
a
could take
little
over the
bit.
world.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, yeah, it's a great leadership because like every female, they want a man to lead the relationship. So if he can just communicate just a little bit more than usual or other men, then that's definitely a
I would definitely
plus.
say that it's like a trait that would make him higher up than the other guys
Yeah.
for sure. And it just shows intelligence if he's actually good at handling like emotional intelligence.
Right.
If he's being, but like we're talking about being silent and stuff like that. That's just being stoic. Like stoicism is huge for men. Trying to just not let anything, to be the rock on the side of the ocean, let your woman's emotional waves crash over you. Like that is what you're supposed to be as a man. And like this is fucked up. I posted this earlier on Instagram, and a lot of people get mad when I say this, but like we have to treat women like children. Like I honestly believe that. I honestly believe because whenever like your woman is emotional because her period or her hormones are off or just something's going on, she's mad and she's losing it. You can't sit there and get mad and yell back at her. You can't. You have to be like, "Oh, it's okay. Don't worry. You want ice cream?" Yeah, I know that sounds messed up, but it's just like you do. You gotta talk to him. Like honestly, you gotta talk because if you want to sit there and try to match that energy, you're gonna have a problem. So like as a man, like it sounds fucked up, but you have to talk to him like it's not even like you're talking to somebody like a child. You're talking to them like you have authority, and that's all it is,
Yeah,
or that you
I
have
like that. Yeah,
authority
yeah.
and responsibility. And like in the Bible, it teaches this. Like this is the same cycle between the parents and the child.
Yeah.
The same cycle between a person and a slave. We don't have slaves anymore, but the reason why is because there's a cycle is because there's responsibility on the slave owner, there's responsibility on the parent, there's responsibility on the man, usually in relationships. Lately, women have all the responsibility now because y'all make more money in a lot of places. So it just depends. Like, I want to ask that really quick. What's the income difference for you and your man? Is it bad or is it close? Like, y'all both make around the same?
About the same.
About the
Yeah,
same.
because we're both in the similar industries. But yeah, I honestly had one podcast that I did that I asked one of the girls in my podcast, like, because so she was for marrying a man that makes 100K, and she changed it, and she was like, no, he has to make a minimum of 400K. And I was like, okay, so let's say you find a man, he treats you good, he still takes you out, he still buys you dinners, you still travel together, but he works at McDonald's and he's making like 80K a year. Would you marry him? And she's like, no. And the other girl too. And I'm just like, that's crazy. So I'm a big like advocate in like just being by your man, standing by him, and then growing to that,
Build a man.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
building
but
with him. Yeah.
would you say it's dangerous though for like I'm sure you've heard horror stories of women that have done like a build a man thing, or where they've been with a guy who wasn't at the highest, or they both made equal income or something, and she did it for 5 years and he never got better, he got worse or something. Like what's your opinion on stuff like that though?
I think that's where communication comes in, and then like checking in on each other like every so and so months when it comes to finances, but communicating like monthly, like, okay, how are you on this? Do you need help in this? What can we do to grow this? Just constant communication. And then if there's a point where like he probably gives up and he's like, you know what, I don't want to work hard in this anymore. I kind of want to just start over. That's where she can decide, like, okay, I'll stay with you or I won't. So I guess it just all depends on the
If
relationship.
your man lost his job tomorrow and he didn't have anything for like the next 6, like how long could you take care of him before you would start feeling like you're gonna get pissed off about this?
Like pay the rent, like
Pay everything. Like this man is making no money. He has
Mhm.
lost everything. He's down bad. How long are you gonna support him?
As long as I see him really hustling and working hard and trying to find that money, I'll do it. But like if you're helping someone and they're just playing games all day, they're on the phone
Well,
all
I mean,
day.
he's at least doing all the dishes at the house. He's taking
Mhm.
care of the house perfectly. He's a
Yeah.
good stay-at-home father, even though y'all don't have kids yet. He's doing all the stuff at home.
Mhm.
But yeah, he plays video games too. Are you still okay with that? He's gonna do this for 6 months, a year.
Well, I know where you're getting at, but it's just, I think even for a female too, even if it was the roles were reversed, I still think hustle still needs to be involved. Obviously there's different roles, and I'm very old fashioned. I
You'd
respect
expect him to be doing some type of hustle on the side,
some type of hustle on the side, like,
trying to make a business or something,
and not, yeah, and do that
making
because
bracelets for Etsy.
and do that because it's good for you, not really for our relationship. And I communicate that with my boyfriend a lot. I'm like, work hard for yourself first.
So
know what I mean?
I want to ask, do you think what's more important if a guy's in that situation with you, his drive or his ability to problem solve?
I think problem solve, because you can have a lot of drive, but then
It's just going down the wrong road.
yeah, it's just you're not focused on the right things, and then you're starting something, ending it, starting something. The drive is there, but your direction and your tactic, like your problem solving is not there. So as long as you can problem solve, like, okay, I lost this job, but this is coming. I can save up with this, like,
Okay.
you
It
know.
just comes down to being a leader. I feel
Yeah,
like with the
leader,
man, just
yeah.
being that man and
Mhm.
a leader. Like even if you are down bad as a man, I feel like
A leader figures it out.
you would still want that mindset of, okay, I'm gonna still
Yeah.
take care of my woman no matter what I have to do. Even if I have $0 in the bank account, let me go find something, mow a lawn, or like there's always some way to make some type of money. So the men who are just sitting, playing video games, being like, oh, my girl's got it, I'll just hold on the
You can
fort
definitely enable
here.
too much, though. You can definitely enable
it's a
too
fine
much,
line.
and that's why. And
Yeah.
like, the reason why I asked that question about the drive versus the problem solving thing is because like I hear the drive all day long. Okay, like
Yeah.
if I've heard on so many panels where the girls are like, I'll take care of him if he has drive. I'll do this if he has drive. Drive. It's all drive, drive, drive. And I was debating like my girlfriend about it like a few days ago, and I was like, it's problem solving. The thing that like, because I'm trying to teach women how to bet on the right men,
Yeah.
or how to know which guys you can bet on. I'll tell you how. It's not drive, because every guy can have drive, but he could be going down the wrong road.
Mhm.
He could be having drive trying to make the stupidest career happen or the dumbest thing, like, and that's dumb. But if he's but say he has an amazing problem solving skill and he's constantly every day you see him solving new problems to get to that next level he's trying to get to, that is more valuable than the drive.
Yes.
You shouldn't sit there and value the drive, honestly.
Yeah.
You didn't go on the man part. Yeah. So what differences have you noticed that men have in expressing emotions?
Like everyone's really said, they're very just silent. They want to go to the gym or play. My situation was just he wanted to play video games. He did not want it to be bothered, and I'm a very like I
He's a
love,
brokey.
yeah, pretty much.
You
I
learned your
love
lesson,
to
huh?
talk and communicate, and I'm very much like, hey, what's wrong? What's going on? How can we fix this? Like, I felt like I kind of was taking the position as the leader.
Oh, you were.
In the
You were.
whatever whatever it was. But yeah, they just are very silent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to ask really quick, in your relationship, so usually in relationships, like one person's in the other one's frame, whether it's the man in the woman's or the woman's in the man's, and that's usually the person that has more control, has more power, usually the one being chased more, just usually just makes the rules of the relationship or has more authority over them. Who would you say in your relationship is in whose frame?
I think my boyfriend and I are in, like, he's in his masculine role, I'm in my feminine role. But we definitely like, we set our boundaries very clearly, and we do that quite frequently, because sometimes there's ups and downs. You want to verbalize it again. But I think I answered your question.
Did y'all go out to the club all the time?
No.
Never? Like,
No.
neither of y'all?
No, because he had a night job for a while, but yeah, no, I don't.
So say, like, next week he just said, you know what, babe? I'm going to the club this weekend. And he's going to go every weekend for the next few months. And that's just what he wants. He's going to do that, and it's nothing different. I mean, he's going to stop it after he just wants to go to the club. Like, it's what he wants to do. Is that okay?
By himself?
No, I mean, he's going with a group of guys. He's going to go party. He's going to go have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
I mean, I can't stop him, and that's his life. He has to, as long as he's respectful, and as long as when it's my turn, like let's say I have a group of friends, and let's say each friend their birthday is every weekend, they want to go clubbing. He would have to trust me.
Well, he's like, you know what, babe? Nope, you can't. You can't go out, but I'm gonna go out. How's that make you feel?
Not fair.
That's not okay.
It's just not fair. It's all about fairness, right? I mean, like we all deserve equal.
Now, say it's flipped around.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, this is obviously not a real world scenario because you're a great girl, but you're like, you know what? I'm going to the club. I'm going in the next few weeks. Me and my girls want to have girls' night out every Thursday. We're going. Sorry, babe. Accept it. And he's just like, okay, and then like he just accepts it, and then he says he wants to go out. Like you just be like, yeah, you can. It's fair. Like you can go out like on your own night. Now, which one of those is like more likely in your relationship? Would you say to happen?
Probably the second one. But gosh, we really don't go out. But yeah.
That's why I think that the relationship is actually more in your frame than your boyfriend's. Because like anytime a guy puts his boundaries up and say they're a little bothersome, like I'm gonna go do this and you're not gonna go do that. 9 times out of 10 in today's society, the woman's like, oh no, I'm like, no, it's not fair. I'm gonna go out. But if we really do the math right now and we break it down, it is completely not the same for a guy to go out than a woman to go out. It's completely different.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because women are advertisers and men are the ones who actually go and up to women and try to get them.
Right,
so because of that, it's just you going and advertising yourself at a place where there's a bunch of single people is way different than a guy going to a place where there's a bunch of single people, but he has to go and pursue and talk to actually get the girls. So I just think that like most relationships, though, I'm going to be honest with you, in America are in the woman's frame. I would say 80% or more. And then like if we look at Islam countries like Iran or something, it's probably 80% the man in the man's frame. If we look at countries like India, it's probably about 50-50. Certain countries, especially Islamic ones, where the men are like way more head of the household, way more in control of their women, literally making them wear burqas and shit like that. That's going to be one of those societies where almost every family, it's in control of the man. Whatever the fucking man wants or says, that's what's going. It's his rules or the highway. His way or you're gone.
Okay.
And so like, and in most relationships here in America, though, it is definitely the woman's way or you're gone. It's not. It's usually it's not. The guy doesn't have enough power. Like I would say, like I'm one of the few guys. Like I'm a rare breed of guy because I have a relationship where it's all in my boundaries. And don't get me wrong, I don't sit there and just disrespect my girl over and over again. But there's definitely a clear draw between who's driving the car.
Yeah. I think I'm lucky enough that I'm comfortable and safe to be submissive around him. So like when it comes to other things, I do let him like decide. I always ask him questions like, should I do this? Should I do that? So I do give him that liberty to make the final decision, really.
Yeah. No, it like the frame thing's a fun thing to bring up because, like I said, most relationships.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Hey, go click Lambo Lou's thing. I want to make fun of this guy. Lambo Lou, I flamed Purple Pill on a post and he quiet. What did you flame me on? You fucking loser. Pull up, man. Come on, like show me what you framed me or you flamed me on because I would love to see what it is. I'll make fun of you. Yeah, I can tell by your picture right now that this is gonna be an easy one. But next I want to know. Wait, what was the next question? How do these communication differences affect relationship dynamics, y'all think? I'll start with you on that one.
Okay. So you're saying like
how does it affect your relationship because guys are so weird about communicating compared to women?
I don't think it should affect a relationship as long as there needs to be a little bit of communication. As long as there's just a little bit, like if you want to be quiet, but before that, just be like, hey honey, I'm just gonna go to my room, play some video games, we can talk later. You know, if you were worried about anything, we can talk later.
Mhm.
You know, it doesn't have to be a full on conversation, just a little bit, just, you know, like some feedback as to, you know,
Yeah.
just so that like she's not confused or anything, especially if you know your woman and you know she's gonna get upset as just because, you know, you wandered off and you're playing video games and you're quiet. Just let her know, like, hey, I'm not in the mood. I'm just gonna go play my video games and watch TV.
Okay.
You know?
This actually brings me up something else I actually want to ask really quick. When it comes to shit test, who do y'all think shit tests the most in a relationship? You're gonna have to think really hard about what a shit test is. Women do shit tests very subliminally, so you're gonna have a hard time even thinking that you do a shit test because you don't really do it on purpose. You kind of just do it on accident. But who do y'all think shit tests the most?
I think females.
You think women do? What do you think?
Women for sure.
Women?
What do you mean by that?
So a shit test can be. How can I simplify this? They're so complicated. No, like a shit test can be anything that like you're just testing your man's emotion, like his emotions. Like you're just testing to see if he's a real stoic man. Like you're gonna yell at him because he didn't do something right, and if he sits there and he's just like, "All right, sorry," you know, like didn't mean to do that, and like he doesn't get mad and yell back at you,
Right.
he passed the shit test. But now if he got pissed off and he's like, bitch, I didn't fucking do that. Like, it's your fucking fault. Like, you know, and y'all start and y'all get into this crazy little fight.
Right.
He failed the shit test. And like, and so like a lot of guys, like I would say most breakups happen because of guys failing shit tests over and over. Either they keep failing them over and over again, or they just fail one, and the girl's like, okay, that was a little 3-month relationship. I'm done with this guy because he obviously can't hold his control over his emotions or anything, you know. And like, but like, who would you think in a relationship is doing that the most? Women?
Oh yeah.
So like I actually have a theory. I'm probably gonna get roasted or flamed for this, but like I actually have a theory that it's based off of the frame. So like if it's in the guy's frame, I think that he's shit testing more to make sure that the girl is really in his frame and like really down for him. So like he's gonna say and do certain things. He might even send a dude up to her work to hit on her to try to make sure that she's not talking. Like that's like a really fucked up shit test. But like that's like ways to make sure you know that your girl is really in your frame and really down for you. And just like how y'all should test the guy to make sure he's a real stoic man and he's actually that guy that he shows to the whole world. He shows this whole world he's this awesome fucking leader and this great man, but then he screams at you in the background, you know? So like we both shit test each other for those reasons, but the one who's holding the frame I think does more shit tests because they have to make sure they're holding the frame. So like y'all do shit test the most because y'all are the frame holder in most relationships, I would say. So you're constantly making sure that beta dude is like not acting like a little bitch bigger than he already is. Shit test our fitness test. Bang Tango, can you go into like more detail on that? I'm confused. Our fitness test? I would love to know like what you mean more by that. I had a different question I want to ask y'all really quick. Let me find it. Do y'all think that women want power in a relationship because of trauma? Like whenever you see women that want like the full frame in the relationship or they want to like have the full control over it, would you say that is like where does that come from? Like why do you think a woman should want like full? Because we all know men are leaders and usually women want a guy that's leader and stuff like that. Why would a woman want to be the leader?
I would say sometimes it comes down to just maybe being insecure, maybe the insecurities of
insecure in him being able to be the leader.
Maybe,
kind of.
Or maybe she or that person has just never been able to be a leader in any aspect of maybe her life, and so this relationship is her way of
talk a little closer.
Being that leader and controlling. You know, maybe it's just from past trauma. So I don't know.
Why do you think women want to be empowered because of trauma?
For the most part, yes, and I feel like the trauma is maybe childhood trauma. So I don't know, maybe they were used to seeing their moms, you know, like be like that, so you know it's like natural to them, or I don't know, maybe they just didn't feel heard in their younger lives, something like that.
No, okay. What do you think?
I think it would have to do with past relationships. Maybe their past relationships, they were abused, verbally, emotionally, mentally, and then or men left them, you know. So now they're scared that the next one or the one that they're in currently, he's gonna leave or he's gonna abuse her. So they try to, you know, play the masculine role, I guess, and try to Be the leader.
This is a fun thing to talk about, actually, because there's like two paths. Like we can decide, or we can kind of think about, do a lot of our problems and traumas come from our parents, or do they come from our relationships? It's really fun to like look at these things, and when we really dive deep and we really want to look at it, I want to ask really quick: do y'all believe in free will? Like, do you think that you have the free, like the Bible talks about, free will to decide whatever you want? You could, the angel side, the devil side on your shoulder. You get to choose every day between right and wrong. Would you say that you have free will, or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, free will. Do you
Is
think
this
you have
the question that you put on your Instagram?
Kind of, yeah.
I still am a firm believer that we have free will. It may not seem like you always have a choice, but you always have a choice.
Yeah. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Free will. Okay, so like I'm on this kick right now where like I'm pushing determinism really hard, which is like the opposite of free will. Like free will is saying that y'all all choose what you want to do and everything. And I believe in something called determinism, which means that like everything is predetermined. Everything that is going to happen because it's meant to happen. And like when we really look at traumas and we look at people and stuff like that, if it was free will, then right now, wouldn't y'all all be perfect people? Like, wouldn't y'all just will your way out of doing something bad? You would never do anything wrong then. You would never sin. If free will was true, there would be tons of people that would just will their way out of doing horrible things. But the thing is, you can't just.
But they wouldn't start it in the first place to like get themselves out of it.
That's what I'm saying though. Like you're influenced. You're not. You don't have free will. You were influenced to do those things by the dark. There's darkness that influenced women to do certain things or men to do certain things, and that's why they do those things. And it all goes back to forgiving your mother and your father and yourself. And if as soon as people forgive their mother, their father, and themselves, that's whenever they can truly live their deterministic path through the light. And like everybody today, though, is fully influenced by something, and that's because something happened to them, starting with their parents, starting with their mother and their father. And sometimes, as women, like say it was a trauma thing that happened to you as a child, and your father was supposed to be there to protect you. You're never going to forgive your father for that, and a lot of women are just holding that grudge in their heart, and that's what keeps them on this path of darkness is just having that in your heart. And the second you forgive your father for that, or the second you forgive your mother for that, for whatever she was supposed to do and she didn't do, that's whenever you get to follow the light. But a lot of people are they're just being influenced. They're not who they truly are. They're just like, if I was born in India, I would have been a Hindu, guys. Like I wouldn't have been a Christian. Like it's not in your control.
You can always there are like people that convert over though, so you always have
Yeah.
a choice. Like if you're influenced,
But they
or
were
not.
influenced to convert. Somebody influenced them to do it.
I think if you decide, like if
It
you're,
depends.
yeah, I think it depends, honestly.
Not everybody's influenced. Think about it. Even if we look at studies, 60% of your genetics determines your like what's going to happen to you. 30% your peer group, 10% your parents.
Well,
And so,
influence doesn't mean that like you have to do that though.
Right.
yeah, no, I'm not saying, but when people do bad things, I just don't blame them anymore. I don't blame people for doing horrible things because they were influenced to do it. They thought it was right. In their mind, it wasn't a bad thing. It was the right thing. And it's because they were influenced by the devil, by darkness. And like if you sit there and you always like assume that everybody has free will, then everybody should be able to just will their way out of things that are bad, but we don't, because we're influenced to do bad things all the time.
I feel like it's deeper than that though. That means like you're not like, I'm Christian, so it's like I'm not grounded in the Holy Spirit. Like,
oh, this is so. I mean, what I believe, Abraham Lincoln believed this, and he was a very strong Christian, and he believed in determinism. Like you gotta understand, there's a lot. Like Google like people who believe in determinism later on tonight, and you'll see there's a lot of people who believe what I'm talking about. And it's all about, do you basically believe that your influence or your environment influences you? Can you agree to that? If you can agree that the environment influences you, then you're already kind of agreeing with me that this is a true thing. Because that's all it is. It's just saying that you're not who you truly are. Your environment is constantly flowing you into certain directions. And it's usually darkness. It's usually the devil. It's usually bad things. And the only way we get away from those bad things is usually forgiving your mother, your father, and yourself. Because usually you're holding some type of grudge and you're hurting, and it usually starts right there. It's not from relationships. It's not from anything. It starts at the root of the problem.
I think some roots are not, they don't start with your parents. It could be your school. It could be a teacher. I mean, like.
Well, there's definitely worse trauma because I mean, say like a kid gets raped at 7 years old by the pastor, like obviously that's going to severely affect, or a girl in that, either one, it's going to
Yeah.
severely affect their life.
Right.
But what I'm saying, like, what happens after that is he's going to be like, oh, fuck Christianity, fuck that pastor, fuck those things, or or maybe he becomes gay or something like that, like, and he thinks that that's what he should always have because that was his first sexual experience. All those things, though, it all goes back to him forgiving his father for not protecting him when his father should have been there protecting him from that bad thing that happened, forgiving his mother for sending him to that church. Whatever, it always goes back to forgiving your parents and then yourself.
But forgiveness is a choice, though.
Yeah, to yourself. Everybody needs to do that for themselves. That's the only choice that you make, though. In your path, you can only choose to forgive yourself, and then through forgiving yourself, you stop doing all that hedonistic garbage. I'm telling you, the second people realize these things, and they realize that, like, that the only reason I am this way is because these influences that might have came from my mother, might have came from my father, like, you forgive them, you say, that's not their fault, and that it's not, like, they didn't make me do this, or like they didn't force this to happen, like it was, I'm not going to blame them anymore. A lot of people deep in their heart, they might not say it, but deep in their heart, that's who they blame for the problems in their life. It's deep. It's not something that is like, out here and everybody can see it. It's a very deep seated issue in most people's hearts, even in mine and anybody's, I'd say.
Some people, I do believe they truly want to do something bad. It's not like they think it's the right thing to do. Some, yeah, but most, they truly want to do something bad. Like, there are people who are like,
Oh
"I'm
yeah, there's
going to
psychopaths.
Walmart."
Yeah, like yeah, I would agree. Like,
So that's free will. I feel like they are choosing, I'm going to go to Walmart and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to go to this school, or I'm going to go to my ex-girlfriend's house and do this.
yeah, I mean, but there's always influence, though. There's always, like, look at even school booters. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this on YouTube, but look at school booters. And if they did, those things, that there's literally, we could literally prove that after a school booter does the thing that they do, there's more people that do it because they're influenced.
Copycats.
That's how big of a deal influence is. Like, we're trying. Like I said, if I was born in India, I would have been a Hindu. We love to think that we are who we are because we chose it. It's not true. It's absolutely not true. Everything that I am today, it's because I chose to look into certain scientists. I chose to look into certain types. Like, if we look at influencers right now on the internet and what people that are 18, 19, 20 years old look up to, it's Wes Watson. It's these big guys on TRT and Juice that are teaching, self-improvement, how to become a better person, all stuff. 20 years ago when I was looking into people, that's not what I was looking into. And that's why I'm who I am today and who a bunch of other people are, following these influence guys and doing all this stuff. You're very much influenced by who you choose to put in front of you, but that's also based off of who inspired you. If I had a friend that really likes Neil deGrasse Tyson, that's going to make me like Neil deGrasse Tyson. No, that's exactly how influences work. If I look up to that guy and I think he's super cool and he's 2 years older than me, I'm giving you a real life example. I thought that this one kid that was 2 years older and was so fucking cool, even though he was a dork and he was a nerd, I thought he was so fucking cool. And all the astrophysicists that he told me about and showed me, I love them now. And it's because I thought that kid was so fucking cool. You're very much influenced to become who you are.
I think it has to do with mental health too. Because, let's say someone is really happy, right? Let's say someone did something for them and they're really happy. Your immediate reaction is to do something nice back. Now, same thing with when someone hurts you. For some people, your immediate reaction is to do something bad to them. So that's a choice. You know what I mean?
So what you just explained, so what you just explained, is what I explained simply as just being Christ-like, okay? And the reason, like, I'm very Christ-like, but the reason why was because I went to church at 13 years old, 13, 14, 15, 16, without my parents making me,
Right.
fully devoted myself, fully serving the church, working under interns, doing all types of stuff. And that's why I have that mentality now. It's not, if you can't take a kid, another 13-year-old kid that didn't go through what I did, and then expect them to have that same type of giving. They never learned how to work for treasures in heaven. Like, I learned that at 13 because I went through an experience to teach me that. We can't expect people to just have that same understanding. And you're saying all this from a perspective of a girl that I can guarantee, just from our conversation, you came from a pretty good home, correct?
Yeah.
2 parents?
Mm-hmm.
I can tell. Was it a Christian household or just religious in any way?
Yeah, Catholic.
Yeah, and I can tell, and that's why you have all these views, and that's why your life is actually very much on your path. Like, you're doing everything very correctly, and that's why you're very close to God and you're going down that path. You're not living like a lot of other people are that have issues with their parents, or they haven't forgiven their parents for certain things, and that's why they're doing a lot of wild shit. Like you're not one of those girls that's done that wild shit. I'm one of those guys that has gone down that bad path. I've done a lot of wild shit, and I can know in my deepest part of my heart it's because I didn't forgive my parents. I didn't forgive myself either. So at the end of the day, I'm telling you, like most people's issues go back to that one root problem. And King of Leo, Sergio, did you see the hit piece Brittany Venti made on Rolo? It was a rough week for him, bro. That shit was fucking crazy. I didn't even know that people do trolls on that level on the internet, on YouTube. I am scared now. I am scared. I'm never going to ever read an email out on YouTube after seeing what happened there. Donnie, did you see this?
Nah, I'm completely lost.
Bro, this girl, Brittany Venti, literally sent Rolo an email acting like a guy that knew her, saying that, like, all this stuff about her, and it was all a troll. It was all fake. It was all, like, a fake thing. And then he said it all on his stream and thought he had all this shit on her, and none of it was real. It was just her emailing him on a fake email account. And he didn't verify or check anything, and it just looks really bad. And he did the same thing with Lauren Southern too. It was really fucking hilarious, honestly. Probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen on the internet, other than the Destiny trolls I've been seeing. But yeah, ladies, I want to also know, do you think that women can love unconditionally? We'll start with you.
Yes.
Yes?
I think.
Wait. Can love men unconditionally?
You said what?
Can love men unconditionally? I'm not saying that just for you, but that's what I should have said originally.
Yes.
No.
No?
Yeah.
You're gonna love your man unconditionally?
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Didn't you say that, like, if he lost everything, like, you wouldn't do it forever? Like, you wouldn't take care of him forever?
Not take care, but just like plan. You need a plan. Like, okay, so what's going on? Why did you stop?
Yeah, but, like, that's why I gave that example. Like,
Yeah.
say, like, for 5 years, this man sits there and plays video games.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna stay with him?
Okay, so when you're a woman or a man and you want to start a family and you want to be successful and all of these things, both man and female, they have to make that decision. Like,
So it's not
It's not-
unconditional, though.
but it's not even that. It's like if you care about that person, you want them to do good for themselves, and it's like,
I agree with you,
Yeah.
but that is conditions. Like, that's fine. Like, that is totally. I'm not
Mhm.
sitting here shaming you at all. I think you should have those conditions.
Yeah.
Like, those are conditionals that are great for you as a woman, especially to make sure you can have children, especially to make sure you can have a family and all that stuff. I completely agree.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, what you just explained is that love is not unconditional.
I feel like that wouldn't be unconditionally though.
Huh?
So I got a question for you then. I got a follow-up question. You spoke earlier about you having boundaries with your boyfriend. What's the
Mhm.
point of having boundaries if you're going to love unconditionally?
I think it's more so boundaries in regards to respect. You know, like social media, workplace.
So that's
how to-
conditions.
But that's like that's like obvious. You know, like every relationship, you should have that anyways.
So it's conditions, though. So you can't love unconditionally if you have boundaries and you have conditions upon rules.
I wouldn't. So my definition of unconditionally is more so like
Only if you
maybe
do
he's
these
sick.
things.
No, maybe he's sick, or maybe like he has issues like mentally, like, you know, but like, or maybe he developed
There's
them over
sickness
time.
and health.
Yeah, sickness and health, like that's my definition of unconditional.
Isn't there another line in that says even through richer and for poor?
richer for poor, or like anything, like maybe like he lost.
So
all
that
his
means
hair.
that he's a bum for 5 years playing video games. You still need to stay with him.
Oh my gosh, I just don't.
That's unconditional love. Like, I'm just explaining to you what
Yeah.
unconditional love is. Like, that's
Mhm.
unconditional. Okay.
Yeah.
And like, it's okay. Like,
Mhm.
all we prove on the show sometimes is that there's certain scientific realities, and there's nothing wrong with it. The reason why you're biologically hardwired that way is because you would have died thousands of years ago if you sat there and tried to build a man with a guy that, you know, back then, or like, there's even something called like the war bride hypothesis. Like, say like Genghis Khan came through your village and killed everybody,
Mhm.
including your husband. It was better for you as a woman to get over the fact that you just watched your dude get his neck slashed, and you just go off with that warrior and survive, and not die in that moment.
I think also like it depends on you have to be in the moment. You won't know until you're in that position or with that guy that you would be in unconditional love for, you know?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people they can do it. they just haven't met that person, or they haven't developed that mentality yet, or that understanding.
I just want you to know there's nothing wrong with y'all not being unconditional lovers. There's a swap off to it. You may not be able to unconditionally love your man the best, but you can unconditionally love your children and your pets. And that's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great thing that you need to be able to do. You need to be able to unconditionally love your kids. So that's fine. The thing is, the guy needs to unconditionally love the woman. And even that's not even always perfect. But for the families and everything to be perfect, it needs to be like a little tree where the guy unconditionally loves the woman unconditionally loves the children, or everything down.
For me, I think it's both. I think both of them should love each other.
I mean, well, that's actually good. One of my favorite things I like to bring up. Do you think that like respect and love are the same?
I think I think respect comes first, because it's not just
for
about
both
love.
of us, for men and women.
Yeah, I think for a man and a woman to say, "Oh my gosh, I respect my man. I respect him. I love him," but have that respect first, it makes the love like even stronger. You know, because there's a lot of men, there's a lot of women who love their man, but they don't respect them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's where that's where it turns into like toxic love. It's like, oh, I love it, you know, like, oh, I love you, but then in the back of your head you're like, oh, but he's such a loser, you know.
Oh, so good question. So what's more important to a man? Do you think respect or love?
Respect.
What do you think is more important?
Respect.
What do you think?
Yeah, respect.
Yeah, respect. Why do you think respect is more important than love for a man, Michelle?
Because I feel like sometimes men are ego driven, and so a man wants to feel like they have that respect, especially from their woman, and they sometimes want their women, well, mostly want their woman to be submissive towards them, and sometimes being submissive is giving that respect to that man.
Yeah, showing that he's special, because why would I do this for somebody that's not special? What do you think, which one's more important, the respect?
Oh, I said respect.
Oh, but what was the question I just asked you? I can't even remember. I can't remember.
Which one does a man want?
Oh, which one does a man want more, respect or love?
I'd say respect, just because you can. I don't want to say you can get love anywhere, but you can kind of get love anywhere. And like when you come home, you know, you just want someone to respect. Like, it makes sense in my head. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. What do you think? What do they need more?
A man definitely needs respect, because they are the ones that bring home the money. You know, if we're talking about traditionally,
Yeah, responsibility.
They need that respect and that support from their woman, because they deal with a lot already outside of the home, and they need that peace in the home. And I think that peace comes from the woman respecting him and supporting him, no matter what the circumstances is.
No, it's absolutely respect. Like, actually, that's all. Like, love is respect to a man. Like, I actually don't want any love, like, at all. I don't care. The love doesn't do nothing for us. It literally does nothing. I'm telling you, it does nothing for us. The respect is everything for us. But what is it for women, though? Do you think that it's still, because earlier you said that it's respect for both of us? You think that respect is the highest for both of us? You don't think that love is more important for a woman?
I still believe respect first, because women, they need that protection. And in order for him to protect you properly and lead you properly, he needs to respect you, respect your career, respect everything. And I think that's where he can lead and protect you better. Because if he doesn't respect you, he's going to be like, oh, you can't wear that, or you can't work there. I don't know.
So, like, are you saying that a guy has no authority? Because the thing is, you just said that he should be able to, like you would respect him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, respect comes because they have authority, because they have responsibility. We said responsibility earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So if he says, "Babe, I don't want you to wear that dress. Babe, I don't want you to do that." Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Like that? So, like, that is him. Like, you actually should respect him by listening to him.
So I had this conversation in my other podcast. And the girl, she was in an abusive relationship, and basically what she was saying is her previous boyfriend, her ex, controlled her. So it was how he said it, and he didn't give proper reasoning as to why she couldn't wear that. As to versus her current boyfriend, he said, "Babe, your booty cheeks are hanging out. I would love if you could just pull them down, because I don't want you to go out and a man follows you, or they read the wrong message and they harass you." So he gave reasoning.
So if the guy would have gave a better explanation, it would have been better.
Yeah, and you can just
of why she shouldn't have to do that, right?
Right, and then like the first one, he was just like, "You can't wear that."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you can't wear heels.
Exactly. Okay, so he sucked at explaining it, right? Because no, but no, just listen for a second.
Yeah.
He should have explained better, right? Okay, 1 second, ladies. If somebody kicked in the front door and we're sleeping upstairs in bed, and somebody needs to do something, and I look over at you, I'm your boyfriend, I go, grab the gun, like how would you feel if I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do right there? How would you feel?
I would feel like you aren't a protector.
Yeah, I'm not a protector. How would you feel if the guy did that to you?
He gotta go.
Hmm?
He gotta go. I'm
He
not
gotta
keeping
go?
him. He gotta
How would
go.
that make you feel?
Definitely, like Michelle said, he's not, protecting me,
Okay.
or he's not, like, why would you put your woman in?
Okay. So
Unless like he has a gun and he's like,
no,
okay, your
no,
gun.
no. So the reason why I'm asking this is, and the reason why I asked how y'all would feel, is because that's how men feel when we have to tell women how to be women. So that dude having to explain to you why you don't need to be wearing them booty shorts or going and do that, that's stupid. We shouldn't have to explain to women how to be feminine or how to be a woman. But that's today's society.
Yeah.
In today's gynocentric society, we have to tell y'all how to be women. Y'all are conditionally feminine when you feel like it. And then you're masculine most of the other times because you got to be a career babe or you got to do this or you got to do that. But in reality, we don't want to. If I was conditionally feminine and I just wanted to wear heels on a Monday,
I think
I can't wear heels on a Monday. My girl's not gonna let me do that shit. That's what's stupid about it.
I think that's a little too far, because a man who's leading the relationship, he can do that. And if she's submissive, she'll understand, because sometimes it goes over our heads. Like we're just, like we just don't think about it that much anymore. So when a man's like, hey, pull your shorts down, I think that's sexy, and I think that's
so
beautiful.
and I agree with you. You know what it is? That girl that's on your podcast, the difference between the first guy and the second guy is she just didn't respect the first one. That's it. She didn't respect him, and that's why when he said don't do that, exactly what you just said. If a guy is in his energy and he's that guy, oh, you'll definitely do whatever the fuck he says. But if he's not that guy, y'all don't treat him that way.
I think
she was dating a beta loser.
I think there's a fine line, because then you're giving like the okay for controlling men, because we have to be careful, because there are controlling men.
This is the problem, is that y'all like to throw this word around, controlling.
No, but there
no. Hold on. Listen to this. Listen. This is the difference. Is there's relationships where you go into the man's frame, and there's relationships where you go into the woman's frame. Like, I'm not controlling with my girl. She doesn't go to clubs and she doesn't wear certain things out when she's going shopping and shit when I'm not with her. But it's not because I control her. No. It's because she's in my she's in the boundaries of my relationship. Because I said this is how it's gonna fucking be, or you can be single. I'm not sitting there forcing her to do anything. She can leave at any point if she wants, okay? But most relationships, what did I say earlier, are in the woman's frame. Y'all decide the rules. Y'all decide, because we're in a gynocentric society where guys are shamed and also do exactly what you just did to me, where you say that you're controlling, or men that do that are controlling. That's not controlling. All it is he actually has boundaries up, and most men don't have any boundaries today. You know why? Hold on, listen. The reason why you're always constantly trying to talk whenever you need to be trying to listen instead, okay? The thing is, most guys aren't going to be honest with you or tell you any of these things, because what the fuck happens whenever guys do this shit? They get shamed. You know how many women shame me because of my boundaries in my relationship? You know how many shaming language I get hit with? You're insecure, you're this. I actually just have a lot to lose. A bunch of losers who have nothing to lose, for one, or two, have no other options in women. They're going to do whatever the fuck y'all say, and they're happy to just get pussy, or they're happy to just get anything, okay? Yeah. I'm not in that position. I easily get pussy, so it's my rules or it's the highway. And then on top of that, I'm the prize. I have way more to fucking lose. Way more to lose, okay? So because of that, it's always going to be in my frame. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of women who keep it in their frame, but those relationships are always based on trauma. They're always based on trauma. The best relationships that a guy wants is the girl in his frame, and it's usually a girl that's not ruined yet, that hasn't gone through trauma like your friend did. She had gone through trauma and was like, oh no, I'm never doing this again. And then next thing you know, women do that. Stephen Speaks, one of my favorite authors, always talks about how every woman is on this trauma cycle, and they end up with a guy who they don't even really respect, and they end up with him for years and years and years. No,
okay, so I don't disagree. I don't disagree with anything that you said, but it all depends on how a man knows how to lead. If he doesn't know how to lead, yeah, it could come off as controlling. Maybe that's how her ex was, going about it. He made her feel like, wow, he's really controlling, because he probably didn't know how to communicate that to her. And then whereas her current boyfriend knows how to communicate it to her perfectly. And that comes from being equally yoked, and then learning each other and spending time with each other and communicating in a way that your partner, both man and female, will feel safe. So I feel like I like it when my man tells me like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, because I'm very submissive and I will honor his wishes or whatever. But I feel like there is a fine line, because that, again, that's where like some men, they'll start, raising their voice, they'll start getting big and tough, and they'll start being abusive, so I think there's a real, like a literally like a fine line between how you communicate to your woman on, like you said, on how to be a woman, like a lot of stereotypically.
That's why I said you talk to them like they're children. If you talk to them like they're women, you talk to a woman like a child. If you're a man, you never get mad, you never get upset. You talk to them like they're children.
And I don't think women, they've never had a problem with that. I think they like that. I think they really.
Oh
like
no, I know they do.
Yeah.
I know they do. I've experienced it. I know y'all like being talked
because
that way.
If you think about it, ever since we were young, we were babied. You know what I mean? Well, it depends on your family if they did do that, but yeah, they babied you. And then even in the workplace, if you had a male manager, depending on your life, they kind of like gave you, they'll let you come in late. You're just, females definitely have it easy in every aspect. So yeah, I don't disagree, but I think there is still a certain way how you communicate and put in a place to make her feel safe and not feel a little too aggressive.
Yeah, it just goes back to like what I was saying though. Like it's all about communication now. But I heard a great quote earlier today actually. I can't remember how he explained it, but basically what he was saying was that it takes way more effort and time to dispel rumors and bad things today. Like say somebody puts out the New York Post or somebody posts a stupid article with a bunch of lies in it. Okay, there's way more energy and effort in having to disprove that than there is in the simplicity of them just posting the bullshit and then changing a bunch of people's minds and making them all into this thing. Mm-hmm. It's going to take way more energy for me to disprove that bullshit to change all those people's minds than it took for them for 3 seconds for ChatGPT to write their stupid article and put it out, Yeah. So in this same aspect, what happens today in this feminist society, this gynecologic society, women expect us, to sit here and put out y'all's flames, put out the like feminism has really put y'all up to this point where y'all like to sit here and think you're equal or think no. A lot of women though, like a lot of the language that you're using though, it's very equal language. It's very like me and my man are the same, like equally yoked. All these things.
For me, no. Like I always like see my man as above me. Like that's how I am.
Who's the prize in the relationship, the man or the woman?
Who's the what?
The prize in the relationship.
I think it's the woman. The woman is always there's that word.
Ladies, y'all agree with her?
Not anymore.
Do you agree with her? Yeah. Not anymore.
Because if you think about it, okay, yeah, I remember. So like a woman makes a house a home, like I forgot.
Yeah, or you give her groceries and she'll make it into food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all just add on to what the man originally bought though, or originally earned. Y'all just add on to it though. Y'all are just making it better. Yes, you're just making it better. What he worked harder for. So he's the prize in that. But no, here, this is one of my favorite little segments I do. Since you said women are the prize, and let me preface this by saying you are correct that women are the prize for 80 to 90% of relationships because most guys ain't shit today. But for the top 10, 20%, let me explain to you how women aren't the prize. If there's an island with 100 men, island with 100 women, and the 100 women one had one man, and the 100 men one had one woman, which one is going to repopulate the fastest? In 5 years, if we come back, which one's going to have the most kids?
Are you talking about the island with the 100?
With the 100 women or the one with the 100 men? Which one's going to have more kids in 5 years?
100 women?
The 100 women, yeah. So one guy makes way more children than one woman can, right? Mm-hmm. So because that men are the prize, like the guy who had the most kids had 888, the woman with the most had 69.
Right.
Okay, so men in the aspect of creating life, we are the prize.
Oh, yeah.
We create way more life than women do. When it comes to getting married, who puts the ring on your finger?
The man, of course.
Yes, and then it comes to a relationship, who's the gatekeeper of relationships? Women are the gatekeepers of sex. Yes. Nobody's gonna have sex with y'all unless you say it's okay or else it's great.
Oh yeah.
So who's in control? Like there's a lot of girls, maybe not you, but there's a lot of women out here who are sleeping with men and they're never gonna get relationships from them because they're not gonna give it to them. So the gatekeeper of relationships are men. The ring on your finger, it's a man that puts it on your finger.
Yeah, there is.
So he's a prize because you have to act right to get the ring.
Yes.
If you're not a certain type of woman or something, you're not going to get married. You're not going to get the relationship.
But we also have to say yes. So I think it comes to
trust me, you're not going to say no to the guy that you want to be with. So because of the guy that's the prize, you're not going to say no to. if
No,
he's
no, no.
truly a prize.
Well, yeah. So I think what you're getting at is women date up and men date down. Because I
No,
think
I'm not even getting at that at all. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to explain to you, because you said originally women are the prize, and I'm just trying to explain something. I'm trying to give you some steelmans to explain to you how, and I even preface this explaining to you that women are the prize in 80% of the relationships, because most guys ain't shit. But we're talking about the top guys right now, okay? Because obviously only a top guy is going to have 888 kids. Only a top guy is going to be able to control marriage and control relationships,
Right,
okay?
right.
So if we also look at in society, what is needed? Do we need masculinity or do we need femininity? What is something that is heavily in need every day of society to make it run?
Men.
Yes, we need. That's why women are in their masculine energy all the time, because y'all work a lot, and we need workers. So we need masculinity all the time. So men are once again the prize, because we need masculinity, especially if the guy is masculine. On the last thing, what is there more of a supply and demand issue of? Is there more high value men, or is there more pretty women?
Is there more high value men or high
Or
value
pretty
women?
women? Pretty women. There's way more pretty women. So because of supply and demand, this guy is the prize, because there's way more women that are going for that.
Oh yeah,
So
for sure.
so when you really break it down, men are the prize, and you have to, if you want to chase, like a lot of the women, you're not one of these, but most of the women, when I'm talking in general, a lot of these girls do want that guy. Like, want the guy who's the prize, and I have to teach them this. I have to drill this into their head, because if you want the guy that's the prize, you need to act different. You need to do certain things. Now, if you choose a normal guy, you don't have to worry about any of this. But a lot of the women who come on the shows won't take the plumber, won't take the electrician, and that's the issue right there. You know.
And that's what I tell them too, because I meet these girls and they have these unrealistic like characteristics that they want in a man, and I'm like, that's not going to give you a long, healthy relationship. That's going to give you temporary happiness. Like that trip to Hawaii, you're gonna enjoy that, but then you're gonna come back home and you're not really gonna like the guy. You just like his money, and money comes and goes.
Yeah.
So that's not important.
Do you think women know exactly what they want?
I think they know what they need, and they rather do that.
Okay. Do you know what women want, or do you think women know what they want?
For the most part, no.
What do you think? Do you think women know what they want?
Definitely not.
You don't think women know what they want, but you said they know what they need.
Yeah, I think they want. Well, yeah,
they have like a vision in their head of
they
what
have a
they
vision
want.
that they want. Yeah,
but is it really what they want?
It's not what they need. But yeah,
it's not what they need.
It's not what they need, but they just want it because they want to travel. They want nice clothes. They want nice things. It's all materialistic.
I would argue. I always say I would argue women have no idea what the fuck they want. Like the second y'all get what you want, the second you realize it's not what you wanted.
Yeah.
That like simp beta dude that fucking bought you everything you wanted and did everything you said. That's not really what you wanted. That didn't bring you happiness. And you need a real man to tell you what you need. And there's real men out here that would be like, no, baby girl, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Yeah. This is what we need to do. We need to do more money in our 401k. We need to buy this house. We need to do this. And the right man, the right leader, he's going to tell you what you really fucking need. And if we let you, dude, think about how many, you're not one of these, but there's a lot of women today that are in relationships and he's just a simp dude. It's like, whatever you want, babe. You want to go on girl trips? What do you want? You want a bag? I'll buy you the bag right now, And those women always end up miserable because that's not really what they need. It's just what they want, but that's not real. Mm-hmm. It's not real. It's just what all the other girls are chasing on Instagram or something, Mm-hmm. But so like, I would just say, like, you gotta be careful whenever you're a woman who thinks you know what you need, because you might just be thinking of like something crazy, like I got to bring this up with you because you have such a big Instagram influence. Would you ever get rid of your Instagram if you didn't make money with it? Would you ever get rid of it for your dude? Like he was like, hey babe, yeah, everything's good. I just don't want you to have an Instagram. I don't want you to get DM'd from anybody.
I've told my boyfriend he can have my password.
Well, not, but no, that's two different things. I'm asking, would you get rid of it?
I'll get rid of it. I mean, it's not.
If you weren't making money off it.
Yeah.
I know this one's a little hard for you because I know you make money with yours. Would you get rid of it?
Well, now that we broke it down last time, I would.
You would? Yeah. Would you get rid of it?
My eyelashes coming off. Sorry.
We'll say for the perfect woman too, not just perfect dude.
For the perfect woman, yeah, I would. I'm a lover girl. Yeah, whatever.
You're like, I'll give it all up for her.
Whatever you want, I got you. I will do it.
It's just, you'd be surprised, and you have a lot of followers, but a lot of women would die on that hill. Like, and I'm proud that like you're not one of them, but there's tons of women today that would be like, nope, I need that attention, like, or I need that validation. Like, I'm not going to let this one down. Like, I will break. Like, I'd rather break up than lose my Instagram. If is there, so as a girl who has a lot of followers, do you know why a woman would do that?
Man, every Instagram account is so different, you know, depending on how you use it. Obviously, like,
But the same scenario where she's not even making money off it and she's saying I won't fucking remove this.
I think it's just they get caught up in the likes and they see that number and then they see the comments and then they see the DMs.
The validation.
Yeah, you know, and for man and woman, they just get caught up in it and they get addicted. And I think it's
it's a dopamine. Yeah, it's a dopamine rush.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's hard for girls to like want to do that? If like that same scenario, why would it be hard for a woman to not want to give it up? Because y'all both are the type where y'all both have like a solid following for your Instagrams.
Just opportunities.
The opportunities, yeah. So like one of the things I talk about on here is that women are opportunistic lovers. Guys are idealistic. Okay, so like we have this idealization of what the perfect love is. You know, the white picket fence and the family and all that stuff. Like we idealize. Like we meet a girl and we get one-itis and we're just like, oh yes, like I just want to have it all right now, like the perfect life thing. But like y'all kind of are always in the back of your mind, like opportunistic, just like, oh well, let me just keep this open, and you know, maybe the blue check or maybe the multi-millionaire who's also 6'5" is gonna slide in one day, and like you just always want the opportunity there. Would you say that like if you were with a dude for 5 years, like everything's going perfect, but he's still a loser, like he's like making 50K a year, he's not growing anymore, he's been stuck at that 50K a year, he's not going any higher, and then like the perfect guy, I don't know who your dream guy is, I don't know if it's Michael B. Jordan or what, but like one of them slides in, you know, do you think you're gonna like, because this guy's still being a loser, it's been 5 years, he's still a loser, would you sacrifice him to like to take that opportunity?
I wouldn't be with a loser though.
But if you did, if you were just stuck with one for 5 years, you would do it because you wouldn't even want to be with that guy.
So like, is everything like okay, or like
y'all are doing good? Y'all have good sex and everything. He's just not. He's not that guy. He's a dork. He plays video games and he makes 50K a year, and you're kind of getting tired of him. But man, you got free backstage passes to the Drake concert.
I feel like,
and Drake sent them to you.
I don't like Drake like that. So,
but well, Michael B. Jordan, whatever.
I don't like none of them. But I feel like if there's like nothing wrong or like no issues or anything like that, and like he is working, doing some type of work, then no, like I'm okay.
You're okay with it? Okay, you could do that too? You'd be with him even if like the greatest guy ever that you've been crushing on for years, and your guy's just being a loser?
Yeah, I mean, like, how can you do that to him? You know, like, I think the biggest thing that a lot of people forget is loyalty, and they think that every guy they'll date or meet will be loyal to them. So I think that's a real gem to find a guy who is loyal, or a partner who's loyal. I think if he's loyal to you and he still treats you good and knows your love language, you can't. That's very rare.
Do you think most guys are loyal because they want to be, or out of necessity today? I'll ask you first, Michelle. Most guys, do you think they're loyal out of necessity or because they want to be loyal?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I would say necessity.
Necessity? Yeah. What do you think?
I feel like 85% plus is because they want to be.
They want to be?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Definitely they want to be.
You think 85% of dudes want to be?
I think, yeah. Well, I don't know about that percentage, but I think like when they find that girl that they want to be loyal to, they will. No question. No question asked. Because honestly, like growing up, when I was in college, I would ask a lot of relationship questions to both male and females because I never knew anything about guys and I was really lost, you know. So I had my first boyfriend like my junior year of college. So they would tell me like I would be loyal to that one girl, like that girl that I dream of. Mm-hmm. But the rest of them, they don't care, you know.
Would you say that guys lie sometimes?
In my experience, a guy won't lie to someone he cares about. Like truly cares about you, no, he won't lie.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you just don't have. Ladies, do guys lie? What do you think? You think guys lie? What do you think? Do you think guys lie?
It depends on how they perceive lying is, and they may call it a white lie. Yeah. But yes.
I think you're like living in such a perfect bubble over here because like guys lie a lot, like a lot. Like one of the biggest things that I teach on the show is that guys are gonna lie to y'all all day long to get sex. Like they're gonna say like everything. Like you gotta understand, like you're like, well, I heard them say this, and it's like you do realize that he would look really bad if he told you the truth. Like once again, the gynocentric society, like the society we're in, like you will get canceled, you will be hated for saying certain things that you really feel. But when I look at studies that are done where people are allowed to be honest and to not judge them for it, we see that guys and women are not the same at all when it comes to this, like at all. And guys do want to exercise options. Like women want the best man that you can have, and men want the or women want the, like if y'all can, y'all want to have the one best person that you can. You want the best quality person. Men wants quantity. And like it's just all like even throughout all of history, like we could see that men have always been like this. It's not even like something that just cropped up over with this host society. It's something that for all of history, men have always done this type of stuff. And like women have always been like those hyper loyal type of things. Like, and it all goes back to biology. Evolutionary psychology shows us why men like to sleep around, because we can ejaculate multiple times a day for all day. Y'all have one egg that comes once you know, like women usually like to have sex 2 weeks after their period. Like our libidos and everything about us are completely fucking different, because guys, for 100,000 years we were still fucking monkeys. Like we were still like out there animals. So we still have these instincts. And I understand like it's hard to hear these things. Like whenever I bring up some of the stuff, the spot on the internet, or the space in the internet that like they call this is the red pill space. And the reason why they call it the red pill is because when you learn these things, it's like coming to terms with reality, like learning how people really are. And it's very bothersome. It's very ugly. Like when you took the red pill in the Matrix movie, they weren't living in paradise. They were eating shittier food and living on a shitty fucking ship. And it was horrible. And so like you got to understand that some of the things I'm going to say, they're very uncomfortable and horrible to know about, but don't shoot the messenger. This is all Dr. David Buss, Evolutionary Desire. This is all Marty Hazelton, Hormonal. Go read those books. This is not my opinion. This is the truth.
There you go. Oh, sorry. I feel like some of the stuff you are saying, it is good for some women, but I feel like pertaining to her, just there's women out there who do carry themselves in a manner who, men are going to want to be in a relationship.
No, one of my favorite things I like to bring up is like it's based off of intelligence. Okay, so everything that I bring up in the red pill space, or when we bring up studies and we're talking about the generality, we're obviously talking about the people that are on the lower half of the IQs. Okay, so like under 100, under 80, 90, okay, like that, because those people are what? They're more likely to fall to their animalistic desires, whether that's hoeing around or whatever it is. They're not as smart, so they're going to fall into doing these things. So intelligence, if you and your man are intelligent, then what does that mean? These stats don't matter to y'all. You're not going to be as hypergamous as something that like we always talk about hypergamy, where women like to date over and up. If you haven't experienced a lot, or like you're a very intelligent person with 130 IQ and your boyfriend has 130 IQ, why would it matter? It doesn't, because you are intelligent. But hold on one second. The reason why I bring that up is because if we look at studies also, the higher intelligence a man is, the more he sleeps around. The more he cusses and the more he sleeps around. That's IQ level test. We can literally test men and see that that's the truth. So like I agree. Like I love to say that the more intelligent a couple is, the more all these stats and all this shit doesn't even fucking matter. Because if you're intelligent, you can say fuck my animal instincts. I don't care about them. I care about what I want, But still, even when we try to put it that way, all the stats show that intelligent men still want to sleep around. They still want to exercise options. So like it falls apart at that point.
I think your spirituality comes into play, and then when a man has preferences, there are men who sleep around. They don't care who they sleep around with, when and where. But in my experience, I think there's a lot of men who do care who they sleep around with, and they don't want to have a quantity of women, like a body counts. They don't want to have a high body count.
I was around the religious community too. I completely understand
or
it.
just
I completely
spirituality.
But once again, that's why I originally asked: are they single out of necessity, or are they single because out of choice? And what I would argue is that all those fucking dudes, if we lined up 100 of them, 100 of those guys that all said, they're all good Christian men, okay? But then you send them in the most hot woman ever, sending fucking 5 of them in a row that's touching them, wanting to sleep with them, wanting to do this stuff. Let's see how many fucking fail that test. And I guarantee you it is most of them. The thing is, everybody lies to everybody else and says, yeah, I'm a good person, I would never do this. But it's because they couldn't if they wanted to. They don't even have a choice. Like, the only choice they have is a hooker. Like, they don't even actually have a choice in a woman. And so it's really goofy when guys who don't even have options sit there and say, oh, I would never cheat, I would never do this. You couldn't if you wanted to, bro. You literally couldn't, even if you wanted to. And that's most the people that say that type of shit. It's all virtue signaling at the end of the day.
I think women cheat as much though.
If we look at stats, it's men cheat a little bit more than women, but women are about to take over that gap here in the next probably 5 years, because I think it's only like a 3 or 4% difference right now in marriage, at least. But no, but women and men cheat for different reasons, though. This is one of my favorite things to debate, because like you would probably say, like right now, if I ask you, would you break up with say you and your boyfriend get married, and he goes and cheats and has sex with another woman, you're gonna break up with him, right? Because he cheated.
Divorce.
Yeah, divorce. Yeah.
So I had this conversation with a friend, and she was like, I would cheat too.
Yeah, she would want to go do the same thing.
Yeah. So I brought that up with my boyfriend. Like, what do you think about that? If that happens, like if I did it first or you did it, he was like, no, that's not right. Like,
do you think that somebody acting out of vengeance is a good thing? Because the woman just doing that is because she's vengeful. It's not because it's pleasurable. It's not because of anything like that. It's because she's pissed off and she's getting vengeance. If a woman ever does that, she's the worst type of woman in the world, because she's a vengeful woman. She has hate in her heart. And like you should never want to be with those women in the first place. The problem is that we once again are blank slating things. And when a guy cheats, it's not the same as when a woman cheats.
No.
Now, don't get me wrong. If a guy has an affair, that's an issue. If a guy is having an emotional connection with another woman, that's an issue. But a lot of times when a guy cheats, he's just going and taking a piss and then coming back. It's not the same. And when a woman cheats, she's emotionally attracted and emotionally attached to the other person. And she emotionally cheated before she even fucked him, because she was texting him and doing a bunch of other shit. So it's not the same. Like, I would say that in certain situations, you shouldn't divorce your husband, but I would tell him he should divorce you, because you emotionally checked out. He didn't.
Right.
So it's two completely different things.
Yes.
But yeah, I hope you learn to never do vengeful cheating.
No, of course not.
That's something that like really bothers me, because every woman says that, like, I'll just go do it too. And I understand that's a good thing to say to the guy to scare him so he never goes and does it. But you just look like a vengeful bitch. Yeah, like, I just don't think it looks good at all.
Or I've seen people, they would just start over. You know, they would just like not necessarily like get a divorce, but they would just kind of what's that word? Separate. They'll just separate, take a break, and then probably get back together. I've seen that.
See, but even that is dumb though. Like, you gotta like, guys, there's a reason why there's a word called cuckoldry. Because when a guy goes back to a woman after doing something like that, or a guy stays with a woman whenever she's being fucked by another dude or something like that, you look like a cuck. It is an insult. It is it's a horrible thing to be as a guy. Whether it's respect from all your peers or whatever, it's very disrespectful.
Right.
Like, there's a reason why we're all still making fun of Will Smith for that one kid fucking his wife. Like, it's never gonna end.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it's never gonna end. And it's not the same for women though at all. It's the opposite. It's never gonna be like that for y'all.
Right.
I mean, what was the next one? Do y'all know? Do y'all think that women go through heat just like animals can go through heat? We'll start with you, Michelle.
I guess.
You think so? Yeah.
You said.
Have you ever felt like you were going through heat, like whenever you're like?
Yeah. I mean, when you're, what is it, ovulating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Like, kind of, I guess heat makes you horny. Yeah.
Not me. Not no heat.
You don't think so? You don't think you're ever in heat?
What do you mean by that?
Like, when an animal's in heat, they're like ready for they're like horny and they want to have, like, they want to get pregnant. Like, they're trying to get some seed up in them.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
course.
yeah. So yeah, it's called estrus. So like when women go through estrus, it's like 2 weeks like after y'all's period and stuff like that. But yeah, y'all definitely go through a period of heat, and this is why it's such, like, I want to say this is why relationships are so hard today, is because women, y'all go through heat, 2 weeks after your period, you really want to have sex in that period, but your boyfriend, who I told you he has a libido where he wants to do it every day, that can get annoying. So I want to know, when you're in a marriage, would you be like, if your man asks you for sex and you just really don't want it, are you allowed to basically deny whenever you want, in a marriage? Like, or do you think in a marriage, like, you kind of like have to be fair or something? What do you think when it comes to sex?
I would say marriage. I would say yes, you would need to, what's the word? Just communicate, I guess.
Just communicate?
And yeah, I don't
as
know.
long as, but say like you just do not want to have sex that day, like he's just like, he's like, babe, I want it right now, but you're just like, I really fucking don't.
I mean, I've been in that situation before, but with a boyfriend. And yeah, I mean, it did not. The relationship obviously ended. But that was one of the main reasons because I just wasn't.
You weren't turned on, yeah.
No.
You didn't want to. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm so slow. I didn't understand what you were saying the first time.
So if
for the first question, but I got it now.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't want to use the word oblige, but I feel like you should, unless there's something like medically wrong with you, like at that moment or something.
Okay. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with her. I think if you see him in like that, you should just be like, okay, you know, like even if you're upset or like you're down, you don't want to. I think you should make that sacrifice.
So as a Catholic, do you know what the verse says about this when it comes to having sex with your spouse?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a very specific line that it says, and it is that you're supposed to always, no matter what, if one says they want it, if you say it or if he says he wants it, as long as it's not worship time, you're supposed to do it. And so, like, yeah, but this is an issue that, you know how many marriages the woman's like gatekeeping the sex and being like, no, I'm not giving it to you until you mow the lawn, or I'm not, you know, and this is called negotiating desire. And like, that's what's fucked up about it is like when a guy has to negotiate desire out of their woman and be like, I want you to like, will you love me like this or this? Like, guys really want burning, genuine desire. Like, we don't want to sit there and negotiate with you. Am I going to get this pussy? I want you to want me to want you type of shit.
Not like a reward.
Yeah.
Like.
I want to ask also, you know, based off the Bible because the Catholicism thing, like, have you ever like seen like how or in Corinthians they like talk about how there's the cycle of like love and respect, and based off of that cycle, that's how it was what I was bringing up earlier, like the between children, slaves, even between the church and the people, there's a love and respect cycle. And that's why I was asking you, like, do you think women want love more? Do you think men want respect more? But that cycle is all based off of responsibility that we were saying. So as long as the man, like the reason why that little cycle is messed up and you were saying, well, I want respect. I want just as much respect, or I want this. And women say that because y'all have just as much responsibility today. Y'all are sometimes splitting the rent or doing all this type of stuff. So I understand why women say that. But the true perfect cycle of a relationship is that you love him and he respects you. It's always been like that. And that's how it is for children too. Your children, that they respect you and you love your kids. And like that's just how the cycle is supposed to work based off of responsibility. But when we got a bunch of households and boss babes and the women spending half the rent and stuff like that, that little cycle is fucked up. It's not doing this anymore. It's going like back and forth like retarded as hell. And like, but I just can't. The reason why I would bring it up is because I can't express to you enough that like your man, you may think that, you know, he wants love, or you may think that you want more respect, but I guarantee you if y'all had a long conversation about you doing the best to respect him as much as physically possible for the next 6 months, and he does the best he can to love you for the next 6 months, like care for you, talk to you, hug you, you know, show love, I guarantee you it's just the craziest relationship ever when you stop focusing on you disrespect, like you ever being like, oh, I don't like how you disrespected me here or something like that, or him being like, well, I don't like how you didn't love me here or something like that. If y'all focus on y'all's true inner like wiring, you'll be in this amazing state where everything works perfectly. I want to ask also, in y'all's relationship, are y'all the type where y'all constantly do stuff for each other?
Oh, like acts of services?
Yeah.
I think so.
Like who cooks dinner usually?
Well, we meal prep. So we're both bodybuilders. So everything is prepped already.
Do you do anything for him? Like, do you do his laundry for him?
No.
Y'all are like pretty like y'all just each do y'all's own things?
No, it's just mostly like in the apartment. Because I wake up earlier. I clean the apartment. I organize everything. I decorate everything. And he does more so like, because he wakes up later, if things are not done, maybe I didn't get to it, he'll just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our schedules are everywhere, so it's mostly like, if this is not done, just do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, I don't know.
I mean, y'all don't have anything split or anything. It's just like everybody does everything and just doesn't mess it up.
Almost, yeah. I obviously do a lot more, but that's okay. You know?
I just like the
like I walk the dogs and all that.
Another thing the Bible talks about though, and this is kind of gone today, is like devotion. Mm-hmm. Like, and it says devotion is love, and the reason why is because like for me and my girl, like we constantly do things for each other. It's not asked; it's just done.
It's just done, yeah.
And so, like, I was just gonna, give you a tip. Show constant devotion. You already know about being Christ. Like, you already know how to give to others and not expect anything in return. And that's the biggest thing, is just constantly giving to that man and not expecting anything in return. that's awesome that you already like were raised with all these values, honestly, because most women are like having to relearn these things instead of being raised with them. Were you raised in a two-parent household?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like where'd your parents live? Are they from around here?
Yeah, they're from here. They were both born in Texas.
Okay. And both your parents were in the other country? Where'd you come from again?
So I was born in Guatemala.
Yeah, Guatemala.
But yeah, I was adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to also ask, when it comes to siblings, how many siblings did you have?
Nothing.
None?
No
Wow.
cousins. Nothing.
You had no cousins either?
I knew of two, and we hung out just a little bit when I was little, but it's just you don't remember.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What about you, brothers, sisters?
I have one brother, but we have a 10-year age gap, so he just turned 12 like a few weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Super little brother. And then for your adoptive parents, did you have any brothers, sisters with them?
One, yes, brother.
One brother?
Yep.
Okay. And so one brother, none at all. Who influenced you the most in your household, in your adopted parents' household?
I didn't really grow up with my brother because he is way older than I am. So I was basically like an only child. So I would say the biggest influence in my life was my father.
Probably him. Okay.
Yep.
Who was the biggest influence?
I'd say like 51% my mom, 49% my dad.
Uh-oh. What do you think? Mom or dad?
Both, but also my uncle, my mom's brother, all three different way, like split up.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
Sergio's RPG just bounces off Proverbs, girl. This is hilarious. Wait, what was that last question? Hold on 1 second. No, ladies, what is something that's really bothering you just about the dating marketplace today? Is there guys that are being annoying, or is there just something you're not single, so it's gonna be hard for you? But
I'll
anything,
answer it.
well, just any question about men, or just men in general, your boyfriend, or just men in general.
So the question was, what's the biggest problem in the dating
Mhm.
world? I think it's women.
You think it's women?
I think it's women. I think women are ruining it because they want they want to be like a man.
Misogynist, bro.
They want to be like a man, and they're like, oh, my body, it's my turn. I can sleep around. I can do whatever I want. I can wear whatever I want. Basically, like how I was. I remember because I write a lot too. They just want to be single while having like exclusivity with a man.
Yeah, want to eat their cake too. Yeah.
Yeah, and oh my god, 100% women. Like their mentality on a lot of.
You don't think it's the men?
From my experience, men know what they want more. So they know the kind of female they want to marry, not date, just marry. They know the kind of woman they want to bring home. So it's easier. I feel like it's easier for them to pick the girl they want to marry from a crowd. But for a woman, it's like they don't know. They just want to try that one, and they treat them bad. They try someone else, even if that guy's treating her good. It's just like, I don't know. It's just for me. I think it's just.
I mean, I love playing devil's advocate, so I like to say, it's the men and women. So, like, one of my big things about this show is I really like to point the finger at the powers that be. Like, don't get me wrong, the men and women are fucking up. Like, there is certain men that ain't shit, and there is a lot of women that have these crazy expectations and shit. But like, there's a reason why it's all happening. This wasn't happening hundreds of years ago. Like, it all goes back to the dollar being created. All goes back to free market capitalism. It all goes back to we make way more money off of people being single. There's way more money in single women buying products and traveling. There's way more money in single men buying their camping trips and their camping gear and all their bullshit to sit there and stay sad and single and their fishing stuff. Like, there's way more money in us being separate.
And the music too.
Yeah, and the music. Yeah, like it's gonna everything is
TV.
Yeah,
movies.
everything. I'm telling you, like it all started with like Vogue and Cosmo and stuff. Like they realized 30 years ago that if we put these stupid products in our magazines and then also tell the women that they give them bad dating advice and give them bad advice for all this stuff in our magazine, oh, they're going to have to buy more beauty products from us. This is genius. Like they figured this out years ago that they were going to make more money off of us being single than together. So like, I agree with you, like the women, like shame women, do better. But I like to say, like, it is the, like, I don't blame the women because I coach a shit ton of women. And like I talk a lot to them on the DMs and like the guys I'm talking to and stuff. And I can't help but be like, damn, a lot of these dudes ain't shit today though. And I see it for myself. I even coach a lot of men and I see it for myself. They're not shit. I go out sometimes and when I see the choices that these women have, it's just like, I feel bad for y'all. I understand why y'all are all fucking the same dudes because I wouldn't want to fuck those losers either. It's like, so I'm in this weird place where it's like I kind of feel bad for them. At the same time, I want men to stand up. You know, I like to be centered though. That's why this purple pill. We're in the middle here.
Yeah. I think a lot of females, when it comes to their expectations in a man, they're not even close to that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they want a high caliber man, a high.
But do you understand why they like think that? Because
why they want to.
But like why they want those things?
I think there's a variety of explanations, but I think most of them are not realistic.
Well, like it usually goes back to like two things. Like one is we live in the age of social media where since Facebook has been around, you know, since Instagram has been around, we see these very pretty things everywhere. Yeah. So if you're a woman, you see these aesthetically hot guys all the time in your feeds and shit like that. So that's what you're gonna want. Hey, and you're dating a guy that looks like that, aren't you? So you can't even talk. But so like I don't blame them because it's like their environment. Remember, I bring up the free will thing and determinism thing. Like, I just don't blame them. Like this is in their environment since they're little girls. And some of them were 13. Like, I didn't get my first iPhone until 18 because I'm 32. But other girls got their iPhones at 13 and shit. So that's automatically wiring your brain to think this is normal. And then what happens if you're an 18-year-old girl, you get out of high school, you download a dating app, and you can instantly swipe on a super attractive dude, football player, whatever the fuck it is, like high status guy, whatever it is, he drives the nice cars, whatever it is about him, you fuck him, he's finessing you the whole time, he's telling you lover boy game, like, oh, I'm gonna do all this for you, like, yeah, oh, like this is gonna be serious. He's lying through his fucking teeth, okay, to just get the pussy as much as he can, and he's breadcrumbing her afterwards and shit like that. I can't blame her for having these high expectations because she got finessed by that dude who sat there and told her everything she wanted to hear. And then she experienced this shit way up here. And then she's like, well, I had this orgasm with him. And then I had an orgasm with Dan, the normal dude. And it didn't feel, I didn't even have an orgasm with this dude because I experienced this up here. And so like, I kind of can't blame them. Like, it's like, that's why like there's two different dating strategies for women. There's either you date the beta bucks dude who's not going to run away from you after he gets you pregnant, or you date the alpha guy who you're going to have to chase and do a bunch of shit for him to try to provide value and prove you're better than all the other girls that are fucking him and shit. And that's a hard fight for these women. A lot of these women have experienced so many of these guys, they can't take the beta guy anymore. They're done. Like their mind is messed up already.
Yeah, I think it really depends on the guy, really. I mean, well,
it's the girl's experience. If she has low experience and she keeps her experiences low and she doesn't get on a dating app and fuck that really attractive dude and she doesn't get these high expectations, because the girl that's a 5 can fuck a guy that's a 10. Like a guy who's a 10 on a cold Tuesday will still fuck a ugly fat girl. So like those girls will be like, oh, if I fucked him and he's that hot, oh, I'm not taking anything under this for a boyfriend because I fucked that. But at the end of the day, we have two different strategies for short-term and long-term mating. So like y'all's long-term mating strategy, like I said, is like the beta bucks dude. And your short-term strategy, if I asked y'all who's the guys that y'all want to fuck on the short term, you'll give me probably some pretty good stats, like a 6'2", 6'3". Like if it's gonna be just a one-night stand, you're not gonna choose the ugly fat dude. Whereas men are the opposite. A man for a short-term strategy will probably fuck anything. And when they've done studies on it, men would fuck anything for the short term, but for their long-term strategy, what are we? Picky as fuck. Picky as all fucks. That's good. We want a virgin. You know what I'm saying? So it's really crazy how separate all of our shit is, you know? But yeah, what about for you? What's something about men or just anything, relationships, guys, that's bothering you right now? Anything? Have you been doing better since last show?
What would you consider better?
Discerning better? Like we talk about?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not letting the finessers finesse, and that's all that matters. No, it's just about the discernment. Remember asking like your father, asking your guy friends, or make sure the beta orbiters aren't beta orbiters, you know, and they're actually guys that are actually friends, maybe, even though you know that can't happen. But yeah, anything you think? That means you're doing good right now.
Nothing's bothering me.
Yeah, that means you're doing good right now. Then, what about you? Anything? I mean, about women too. I could even help you with your girlfriends. I'm just kidding. I don't know if I'd be good at that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or do you have a girlfriend right now?
No, I am talking to someone. Well, getting to know her. But she did drop the I don't know what I'm looking for right now. So
I was reading on a subreddit the other day. It was a subreddit for LGBT, and it was like they were complaining about how hard it is with the online dating apps dating right now. Because like basically like if you're a dude who's gay or like a woman who's a lesbian and like you're trying to like find somebody, it's just like 99% like fuck girls or fuck boys, and then it's just like a 1% chance of finding somebody that actually wants the relationship. And then a lot of them are just confused and they're just trying to like test the waters, and really like they're just bi or something, like they're not even like really gay or like, yeah. So I can't imagine what you're going. There's all these straight people that are struggling like crazy right now, and you're like, oh my god, you don't even know how bad it is on my side of the neck of the woods.
Horrible.
Yeah. And then last thing, I just want to know, what did y'all think of the show? Did anything resonate, and will you come back? We'll start with you.
Oh yeah, I would definitely come back.
Yeah,
It was really good.
No, thank you. What about you?
I'd come back again. I liked the show. I don't know. We had some great combo today.
That was good. Did anything resonate? Was there any, at least one stat where you're like, okay, I didn't know that, and that's kind of interesting?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of points were very informational.
Yeah. I would highly suggest, do not take my word for anything. Go read Dr. David Buss's book, Evolution of Desire. Go read Marty Hazelton's Hormonal. Go read Alpha to God by Hector Garcia. All these people are actual doctors and people with actual doctorates, professors at colleges, people that know way more than fucking me. And so, like, yeah, go read their shit, and you don't have to take my word for any of this stuff. You could just go see yourself how men and women are. I don't have to spew it. What about you? Was there anything, or what did you think of the show? Did anything resonate? You gonna come back?
I mean, for me, it's a little bit harder because I mean, it's like if we are talking about like women. I mean, it's kind of hard to I forgot the word, but it's just yeah. So I do like the show. I have been on here a couple of times. I just feel like it's not really my.
It never resonates with you because you're talking to women usually, and like,
yeah,
and it's like,
I don't talk to men. So if I wanted to be in a relationship with a man, I definitely could.
Yeah.
So,
but
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the women relationships, it sounds like it's way harder right now. So I really hope that, like, I don't think we can teach you anything about women here that much, but I really hope that you learn something to help you get a good woman one day, you know?
Was the word you're looking for relatable? Like nothing was
Relatable, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so tired from work, y'all. Relatable, exactly.
Relatable,
Thank you. And it's very hard for me to relate and to discuss on topics that I really don't know because I haven't been in that game. I haven't dated a man in like 5 years.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, you always give us a perspective of a woman that is very like the opposite of like the feminine women. You know, like you're very like
yeah.
wait, are you top or bottom? I'm just kidding. I don't want to know that. But no, I really appreciate you always for coming. Still, no. Thank you, chat, for coming, guys. I really appreciate all of y'all. Please go follow all of them on Instagram. Go follow me, and then go follow all their accounts, guys. Shout out to Donnie. I appreciate you for coming tonight, bro. And we will see y'all. What's today? Fucking Wednesday. So I will see y'all guys on Friday. We got a full panel for Friday. It's gonna be really crazy. So yeah, hopefully I'll have a special guest for y'all too. Saturday we're doing the men's self-improvement panel. I got like 6 different YouTubers from Dallas, all guys who are gonna be on the panel for Saturday, guys. It's gonna be a fucking sick men's improvement panel. We got multiple TradCon guys, multiple Red Pill guys. It's gonna be a really good debate. I can't express to y'all how good this debate's gonna be on Saturday. So I will see y'all then, though. But yeah, peace the fuck out.
What? Toodaloo, motherfucker.